wọ́n lè bí lẹ́rìí wípé ìtàlọ́kùnrin ìwòtọ́ lápẹ̀rẹ̀ lágbájá ní tàmídùnní ìmọ̀lẹ́ akẹ́wìrì ọmọ wọn ló kù mọ̀sọ́ àjílété mọ́bólúwa mi dúpẹ́ mọ́ bẹ̀rù àgbà. ìmọ̀lẹ́ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tó ń yẹ.
Wọ́n fojú kó eruku ata abẹ́ẹ̀bẹ́ eruku ata tí o ti fojú kó àwọn àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà.
Pátápátá ẹwà ló programu yà àtẹ̀yìn mọ̀mọ́ mi pátápátá àtẹ̀yìn mídíà pátápátá àtẹ̀yìn àti mi àtẹ̀yìn brọ́dà mi mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri ayé pátápátá àtọmọdé àtàgbà mo kí pé gbogbo àdúró tì mí Ọlọ́run bá tọ́ láyé tó lọ́run tó bá mi dúró tì tọmọtọmọ orí mi wú lóògùn dùn ẹ̀dẹ̀dẹ̀ kí ọkàn mi balẹ̀ pé Ọlọ́run ọ̀dẹ̀ ní gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ̀dẹ̀ tí mo ṣe mi ò kábàámọ̀ pé mo sì nǹkan ṣe inú mi dùn kan ayọ̀ mi kún lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ torí pé ohun tẹ́ ẹ ṣe ó wú mi lójú kan pé ayé ṣe gbógun tọ́ta gbógun pé wọ́n ń wá gbogbo ọ̀nà kí àwọn sáà gbógun ti nǹkan tá à ń ṣe pọ̀ ẹ̀ ń kí mi láyà pé kí n fọkàn mi balẹ̀ Ọlọ́run bẹ lẹ́yìn mi ẹ̀ sì wà lẹ́yìn mi Ọlọ́run bá tó wá láyé tọ́lọ́run kò ní padà lẹ́yìn tọmọtọmọ kò ní padà lẹ́yìn tí Ọlọ́run nítorí mo mọ̀ pé ó ń sọ wọn lóòkú bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àní símọ́ ya ẹ̀ mo pé Yorùbá máa kó láṣì Ọlọ́run nígbà tó ń wá ṣe tí bàbá wa bàbá bájá títí àtàwọn bàbá tí wọ́n wà lẹ́yìn wa tí wọ́n bá ń na fúláàgì Yorùbá ní sọ tó kéde adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run tó fún wa lórí ìdè wa wọn ò ní wẹ́ẹ̀lì kọ̀ọ̀kan wa jù láṣì Ọlọ́run ṣùgbọ́n mo fi kí Ọlọ́run mo fi tọrọ àforíjì fún àwọn bọ́dà mi bàbá táyà àti ọmọ mi ayéjì pé kí Ọlọ́run bá tó láyé tọ́lọ́run tó bá mi ṣàforíjì fún ọ. Ọlọ́run kì máa ń fẹ́ yẹn gbogbo nǹkan fẹ́ fún ṣe láyé lórílẹ̀‐èdè Yorùbá tán orí ṣe kí Ọlọ́run bá tó láyé tọ́lọ́run tó bá ń fún àwọn ọmọ wọn àwọn ìyàwó wọn ṣe wọ́n sì jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Mo tọrọ fún àwọn tí wọ́n kó lọ́nu ilé náà láwọn tó dúró ṣinṣin wọn ò yẹsẹ̀ Ọlọ́run bá tó láyé tọ́lọ́run kò ní para lẹ́yìn tí wọn náà tí àyẹ̀kẹ́ àjẹgbé fún ọ láwọn tó dúró pépé tọkàntọkàn ni wọ́n fi di àyẹ̀ wọ́n sì dúró tì sí náà wọ́n padà kò ní di àyẹ̀ lájẹgbé. Pátápátá gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ lọ́gbà nítorí tí bá ní mo dá ẹgbẹ́ mélòó mo fẹ́ dárúkọ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá àtọkùnrin àtobìnrin tó náwó lé mi lórí láti ilé tó kó home and abroad tẹ náwó tẹ náírà tẹ sí wàhálà tẹ jẹ kó rẹ̀ tẹ jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ pé mo lọ́lọ́run mo sì léyìn ẹsẹ̀ ẹ bẹ lẹ́yìn ni àlọ́lọ́run rẹ̀ padà lẹ́yìn gbogbo yìí. Ọlọ́run pé nígbà tẹ́ yẹ dúró tì mí èmi náà dúró ṣinṣin mi ní dalẹ̀ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá láyé mo dúró ẹsẹ̀ yìí mo wà pẹ̀lú yín títà àfijọ́ débi ká lọ mí ní ẹsẹ̀ mi dẹ̀ ní dalẹ̀ yìí láṣẹ Ọlọ́run ẹsẹ̀ mi Ọlọ́run rẹ̀ padà lẹ́yìn.
Oh, yeah. And we have some credit you, don't we? We thank God for ushering us into a new week, and a new month, of course. Today is the 10th day of July, the year 2023, the second half of the year. And as we pray, may Nigeria not happen to you, as we see on this platform. So I hope that you had a very nice weekend. I want to know more. You want to know more about what is happening in Nigeria for with updates from Nigeria? Don't you worry, I'll bring you some music later on. But now it's my simple honor to introduce to you the white lion, my colleague and representative, Mr. Lion Koikimedia, who is live here right now in our North London studios. And let's say, Yummy, good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie. Good morning, Frank. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the world. And welcome once again to the first week of the month from the Starr Radio UK network. I say good morning to you back as well, Mr. Archie. And likewise, good morning to all those that have connected on the sister broadcast.
Yes, those of you on the other platforms watching us on the sister broadcast, we want to salute each and every one of you. We love you to be. As I say all the time, without you, there will be no point sitting here saying whatever thing that we are saying or discussing whatever. So it's very important. We love you to bits. All right then. Well, it was a lovely month. Our introduction to the man. But hey, things have been happening. I'm going to tell you more about all that in a moment. But Yomi, how was your weekend?
It was what we can call a marathon. Remember that we left on Friday with just less than a few hours to the attack on the house of Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho. So we had what we called, a special broadcast to celebrate and to also reflect back. So that literally means that just after the Friday broadcast on the Starr Radio Network, we then went on what we called a 13 hours non-stop broadcast that took us into the early hours of when the attack took place at about almost 10 minutes to 2 a.m. on the 1st of July. The next day was a lot of activities, with the Professor Banji Akintoye, with also Chief Sunday, but we're going to be talking about all that in the course of the program as well. So it was a very hectic and busy weekend up to yesterday, even as we continue to say, may Nigeria not happen to us? Because while all that was still happening on Friday, many more Nigerians in the Southwest were killed by the Fulani terrorists right inside a church. And likewise yesterday, there was another attempt to kidnap some individuals around Bega going towards outskirts of Lagos State, but they were able to survive it. So the weekend was much more of talking, conversation, and bringing the conscious awareness. But likewise, a bit of family time as well over the weekend.
Well, we thank God for that. And those of you listening to us, we hope that you had a very good weekend as well. Easy, active, yeah. We like all that, yes. But we pray that Nigeria doesn't happen to you there. Okay, yes. So now let's come to like you said, last Friday we were looking at another 24 hours to the attack, or less than that, the attack, the second anniversary of the attack on Sunday Igboho's residence. Now, but we've had information that is coming in through where Sunday Igboho has sent a message to all viewers and those who are supporting him over that period of time. And you talked about what the Professor was also making and the whole broadcast. How have people seen so far? 2 years, we didn't in exile, let me put it that way. And what is going on? Are we seeing lots of activity? Is the momentum dying? Or is it like because of what Mrs. Abiola is said to have also done the split in the front as well? What has happened when we talk about the Yoruba nation and everything 2 years on after Chief Sunday Igboho's resident attack? What has happened? Go.
Well, I believe, when we reflect back from the point of, those that was, that were able to speak right from Ibadan and some other state, by some of our correspondents on the ground. As much as life continued, they say, in matter of whatever happened, much people probably still remember, but as so many other people are trying to survive in what is called in Nigeria today. So what literally happened, on that Saturday, literally means that as much of 2 years has gone past, apart from those that are key to the conversation, which is about 2% when you talk about those that are listening online. Majority of those also listening are from Nigeria, apart from the diaspora. It seems that the momentum have never gone down, but yes, in every movement, there's always infiltration, and likewise, an attack like these, you would thought somebody like Professor Adebanji Akintoye would probably not even be with us, because that would have been one of his biggest shock, knowing fully well that one person that stood out of so many Yorubas, that gave him the support that he needed at the appropriate time. And he talked about it. It was so emotional when he was speaking on Saturday evening during the YSDM, the Yoruba Self-Determination, and in conjunction with the Yoruba World Media presentation, on Saturday at about 2000 hours. You could feel from his voice that he continuously said that he couldn't have been much more happy that the gods of the Yoruba land protected Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho at that early hours when it was attacked. Let's say clearly that when there was noise from the door of Igboho's house in Soka, he came out from this balcony, probably maybe one of his rooms, but right there and there, as many weapons went into that direction. And if we look back to some of the buildings that were destroyed on that fateful day, we see if the engineer can give us one of those buildings. You could tell that the target for the fact that they met Igboho in the house, the riddle of bullets that went in that direction showed that at the early hours of the morning. So he could have died, but unfortunately he did not. He survived it. But the question then is, like you said, 2 years down the line, have the movement been compromised? Have the movement completely dead? Or what has actually happened? Igboho then spoke, even though, his speaking was delayed, up to when, so many events have been done around the hours of the time that, the conversation of what happened and a lot of activities. But by the time he spoke to the diaspora and those at home and those that are still not in line, because you remember that the movement was divided, like you said, by Dupe Onitiri, when we thought she was part of us. Now we realize that she was just one of so many other agents that is used around the world to infiltrate the movement. But Igboho spoke clearly. And that message was that we must not remember, we must not forget that in as much as it might seem that he's left the movement, he categorically stated it again, that he is still fully involved in this movement till the end. And that literally means that until we get Yoruba Nation, the question that you might ask is that, is he going to remain in Benin Republic? What is going to be the new arrangement between the new president, Bola Tinubu, and Igboho, and also Nnamdi Kanu? The question Igboho said himself is, whatever it takes, how long it takes, the Yoruba Nation struggle must continue.
That's a good one there. I mean, with assurance, a bit of reassurance there. Look, it's a fact that we not what we're looking for, but we're not going in the tower. So it's super hey, okay then, Starr Radio UK. But what have they progress in Nigeria? What has been their response? Again, you left that and looking at that find out good states that you were talking about. Because of those things that since Sunday ago was making all that noise, because they think that you cannot just go to people's farms, go and destroy the farms, and then when they say you kill them and all those things, and it's like, no. And what has been the response of government as well?
Well, the last 72 hours in Nigeria has been again, security problems. And, when we go back and look at the, the incident that occurred from Friday stroke Saturday, from Saturday stroke Sunday, and likewise in other parts as well, it seems that, Nigeria security is still a little bit much in a problem. Let's go straight to the one that happened in Niger State. Miraculously, a baby was found 24 hours after the mother was killed by a Fulani terrorist. How that happened is a miracle. We can say a 7-month-old baby named Abibu has been found sleeping on his mother's back 24 hours after she was shot dead by the Fulani terrorists on the Pandogari Alawa Road in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. The terrorists reportedly blocked the road as usual, and then shot 6 passengers, including an SS2 student of Miriam Babangida Girls Science College, Mina, Alua Aliu, and the mother of the baby to death straight away. Miraculously, the baby survived. That is not the only incident that happened. Let's come back again now. There's also as many uncertainty happen in some of the other states. Let's talk about the communion clash that is going on as well in Taraba State. Curfew is currently going on in Taraba State, but the pressure group, Wukun Youth Ambassador Worldwide, has condemned the fresh violence between the Wukun and Karijo people of Karima. Remember, we keep saying that Nigeria has about 250 ethnic groups. That literally means that there will continue to be some of these issues happening. But in a statement that was put together by the governor, is now appealing to more security personnel to restore normalcy as well. Let's now bring it back to Ogun State. A pastor was shot there. We can show the images, which I have already in my possession. This is one of the churches that is also tied to the Redeemed Christian Church of God. The pastor was shot there. 2 other members are currently receiving treatment in the hospital, but 7 have now been taken away. Let's take you back to Baga. Baga yesterday as well, Fulani invaded the way through, but it seems that they were stopped by some security operatives and some other individuals, and they actually run back into the bush. So this has been the issue and part of why Igboho came out in the first place after the death of Aborode in Igogon, when a PhD holder that returned back to Nigeria after so many years in Germany to set up a mechanized farming with about close to 300 staff working there. It was tied, it was killed, and that led to Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho visiting Seriki Gogon and told him that enough is enough. You must now move out of this place. But it seems now that the Nigerians are now asking their governors, they are pleading that the security in each state is still becoming alarming. How Tinubu is going to resolve all these is something that we don't know yet in terms of the depth ratio that continues as well. But Shehu Sani, one of the former senator, in Nigeria, spoke about the bandits, which he believed that there are clusters of them. So it's going to be very difficult for, the current president, to literally pinpoint, who is behind, because they don't have any, leaders. That literally means that, they're operating on their own. And as we continue to say, more security intelligence will be needed to resolve the crisis that is currently going on as we speak right now. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio as we continue to review and talk about the security situation in the country that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, must now literally work very hard to put a full stop to it, or at least. But what Shehu Sani revealed, why Tinubu government can't dialogue with the bandit. The dialogue with the bandit will not work because of these 3 reasons. They are not armed movement founded for the pursuit of religious or ethnic or political causes other than extortion, and atrocity, blackmail, and adoption, and cold-blooded murder. Remember that these are not even ISIS, and these are not Boko Haram.
Well, listeners, it's a fight. It's a fight, and I don't know what. But I'll be coming to one person that but I want to find what the religious leaders are doing about it, because you don't want to go to church on Sunday and find out that you are abducted, or you don't want to go to the mosque on Friday and find out that you are going to be attacked. So people will decide, let's abandon that, because if they're not going to be getting the security, and what security can they get? Give the members or congregants the reassurance that, look, when we come there, our life will be secure. We're going to be talking about that. But let me read some of the comments that have come through. Moses said, I'm expecting better move from Tinubu on security, because I believe everyone of indigenous individuals living in Nigeria now should begin to have an access to weapons so as to fit in. And that's one of the things I was talking about there. And it goes on to say, I'll be coming to see Tinubu in Abuja for a special meeting on how to bring the country Nigeria forward. I know he leads the USA. He lived in the USA, so he will do something spectacular there. Because of that, I would like Tinubu to make declaration for all Nigerians to declare Nigeria a gun state country before the end of August, coming or before the year running on. But Bishop Adesina says Chief Sunday Igboho stood up to defend his people, and it's now, and that is justified as well. So those are some of the comments that have come through, but it's not coming away from Starr Radio. So now, you are a Muslim. Now, during the festive, the Eid that happened last week, if you were in Nigeria, you would be forced to go there. But if you were going there, you are looking at the whole situation and thinking that there's a tendency that there could be an attack, which we knew that the security agencies were talking about that. But I'm a Christian, I would have loved to be going to church. Yesterday I was in church, I'm here, come to church, I can do whatever. But if I know that whatever I'm going to do, I'm taking my family there who, actually put them in danger, what do you want to do? And what would the churches or the leaders do?
Well, when we go back and continue to review, what has been said, which I'm just trying to pull out, we've lost about 5,000 Nigerians within the last 30 months. That is a report, and there's a total of 430 incidents. Boko Haram terrorists have killed no fewer than 5,873 Nigerians between December 2020 and May 2023, according to a new report. According to the SBM intelligence report that was released on Friday, the number of the fatalities was recorded in 430 incidents. The question you've asked is, whether it is safe. There was a big event that took place in Ogun State, in Jebode, precisely called the Ojude. I don't know whether the numbers of people participating is still in high numbers as what it used to be some 2 decades ago, because we know that after the festival that comes up with the Muslim, something like Ojude is the next event, and this drives in as many Nigerians from outside the countries and different foreigners. But whether they are still attending, but I saw that the event went ahead. The question has always been again that should we tell the churches to stop having night vigils since the government cannot give adequate security? Let's talk about Ogun State. The budget for Ogun State is about 430 billion naira, for 2023. Part of that is to support the security in the state, to make sure that they are well equipped, police officer, and also the military and the other security agencies from the Amotekun and the other, vigilantes. But if this is not happening, maybe it is time now for the churches to reconsider whether it is appropriate. We understand they lock themselves into these, little rooms or little houses that they are operating from. But when the terrorists appear, they have to open up. Because last year, also in Ogun State, a white garment church, a 15-year-old was raped, almost another 70-year-old. About 4 different women were raped in that particular church. There was another killing there. But it seems that, as we always say, Nigerians are so much in belief that the Jesus Christ will save them, while in this part of the world, we believe that intelligence, manpower, training is what saved us before Jesus Christ.
Well. Listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But to end that discussion, so far, what has the federal government said? Any of the authorities What have they said so far?
Well, Tinubu have just returned back to Abuja, and I'm sure is getting daily report, as the chief commander officer of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So even though he traveled from Paris to London, from London back to Lagos State, a lot of activities. I saw he was welcomed by Lagosians and so many other dignitaries. An event was put together. He flew quickly to Ogun State where he met one of the royal fathers as well. The question is now that he has returned back after the holiday, he's back in Abuja yesterday. I saw that. What is he going to be telling the security agency? Remember that, he has appointed the new ones, and that means that the expectation from Nigerians is that the security chiefs must put in as much in place. The next headline says, insecurity. The North awaits Tinubu new service chief magic wand. So you can tell that, they are waiting. Communities in 3 zones of the North, which have been under incessant attacks by the Fulani terrorists, are now looking up to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the new service chiefs for lasting peace in the area. Terrorists have sustained attacks on communities in the North, thus worsen the plight of residents who have been displaced from their ancestral home. From Sokoto State to Benue, it is the same story of agony as scores were killed and hundreds have been displaced by the Fulani terrorists. On June 26, terrorists attacked Ruwan Dorawan village in Dusuma local government area of Katsina State, where the fierce account with the police, who subsequently repelled them. The incident, which occurred at about 11 a.m., left one of the terrorists dead, while police officers recovered GPMG with 58 rounds of 7.62 mm x51 mm live ammunition. You can tell that these are not joking. They are moving with sophisticated weapon that can pieces someone as quickly as possible.
All right, then, listeners. Starr Radio UK, the Sunday afternoon Caribbean radio station in London, 11:24 the time, the morning show, the program. With the president being in office more than a month now, this is only new time. He's running up. You think that it's okay and everything that he's doing is all right? Some are of the view that if we do something better, with everything and appointment, the various appointments that is made. But what do you think about all that? We're going to bring more to you. It is Starr Radio. Let's go back to Domi for some of the other stories. What do you say?
Thank you so much. At 25 minutes past on still Starr Radio UK, it seems that the federal government needs as much money, to save and to also make the economy of Nigeria to drive back, even though the economy is being battered as we speak right now. The Nigerian economy is getting bad. We talked about, the naira. This is 1,000 naira with me, and that literally means that if you have a 10 pound, is a specimen, not a new one, not the one that we still have here hasn't got the King Charles yet. We hope we should have that up and running very soon. So you now have 10,000 naira right there in front of you. But let's talk about the new target by the federal government. The federal government is now targeting 12 billion naira from new vehicle tax. According to the report, the federal government is set to make about 12 billion naira a year from the 1,000 naira, which is 1,000 naira proof of ownership. You might be asking, what proof of ownership? If you have a vehicle in Nigeria, you now also have to have a proof of ownership certificate verification fee, and that means that the government will be getting around 12 billion a year. Last week, the permanent secretary of Lagos Ministry of Transportation, Abdul Aziz Triola, disclosed this. He stated that this certificate would help vehicle owners and the government assure the integrity of all the vehicles registered under the National Vehicle Identification Scheme database and to track car theft and recover of stolen. Right here as well in UK, we have the MOT that we pay, we have road tax that we pay as well. But Nigerians are already paying a lot of such. But it seems that 1,000 naira will be added to 11.76 million vehicles in Nigeria as at Q2 2018, and the vehicle population ratio was put at about 0.06 for period per various reports. Nigeria import about 400,000 vehicles annually. So you will multiply that, you can tell that the government is not joking, trying to find as much money to save the economy of the country as well. Let's go straight. It seems that the burning of the Quran is not being pleased again in Nigeria, as Nigeria and 56 countries under the aegis of Organization of Islamic Cooperation on Sunday have condemned the recent incident of an Iraqi refugee living in Sweden who burned several pages of the Quran. Nigeria is among the 57 member states of the OIC. The OIC represents the Muslim world collective voice and defend its interests. The OIC is the second largest organization after the United Nations. So you can tell that this organization is as big, and likewise Nigeria is also represented as well. With a membership of 57 states spread over 4 continents, according to the report. Salawa Munika, 37 years old, an Iraqi native, set fire to the holy book outside a mosque that was permitted on the first day of Eid Adha, and that has brought a lot. In London yesterday, I monitored some of the Muslims that went in front of the Sweden embassy to protest as well. So likewise, a lot of messages from Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, where the OIC Secretary General Hissène Brahim Taha said a clear message must be sent across the international community regarding the international law which prohibits religious hatred. We can see that the Sultan is really talking about this, but the same Muslim, especially in a state that has 16 local government known as Kwara State, has marginalized the traditionalists from not allowing them to perform their own tradition, because according to those that visited this woman that have now suspended the event that was meant to take place, and the fact because some Muslim scholars paid her a courtesy visit and told her point blank, this is Kwara State, this is an Islamic state. You can take your, Isheshe, you can take it to any other Yoruba land, but we would not tolerate you to have this done here. And that literally means that the Osho priest have decided that for her own safety, she has now canceled a festival that is meant to occur in a Yoruba territory in Nigeria. And the question is this not also hatred of tradition? And when we say all the time that Nigeria is not one country, especially those that are now trying to prove difficult when it comes to religious bigots. Osho priest cancel Isheshe festival in Ilorin over death threat. Ilorin, Nigeria. Osho priest Yeye Ajise Kemi Olokun Omolara, threatened by Muslim group Maja Sulu Shaba Umaru Society in Ilorin, the capital state of Kwara, to desist from holding a planned Isheshe festival in the state, has raised alarm after receiving death threats, which prompted her to cancel the traditional event. I'll come back again first to you in the studio, and you can see the imbalance where the Sultan is talking about the burning of the Quran in Sweden, while under his nose in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he has not condemned those other Muslims in Ilorin that is not an Islamic state. I've now talked about the one in Sweden. The question then is, who is going to support this woman at this particular time?
Well, listen, it's quite an interesting one when you choose from religiosity when we talk about that. As some people say, religion is the opium of the masses. When you touch it, it's part of play. Nigeria is a country, right? Okay, so everybody has a right to worship or associate. So if somebody wants to be a Christian, they can be. If they want to be a Muslim, they can. If they want to be traditionalist, they can be a traditionalist, and they can serve or do whatever. But not to put it. It would be wrong for me to go and stand in front of the mosque and maybe slaughter a pig or something. Which it shouldn't be done. Okay, that when somebody does that, I would say that they actually stirring trouble for themselves. But when somebody maybe I come to the state where I'm a Nigerian, I'm supposed to be there. I don't need a visa to come to the place. I'm allowed to go around my activities, whatever, as far as I've not wronged anybody personally. Why should there be that kind of hatred there? That's why some people think that, well, if there is that intolerance when it comes to religion, then let those of us who are liberals be at one side, and let those who want to be extremists, or let me put it this way, Islamic State, let them also be at another side. But what do you think about all that? think Nigeria should break up. I know some people are calling for that, but with everything that is going on, do you think it's the right thing to do? It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Whenever you do the time, the morning show, the program. So this priestess, what has the state said to her about that? I mean, the federal government. Has anyone said anything about that?
Well, up to as we speak right now, there hasn't been any report or any update from the governor, of Kwara State, neither of any of the Islamic bodies as well. But, when we saw the video and that has now, made this particular woman to cancel the event, you could see that, she was literally confronted. And, when I watched the video, imagine in UK where you have about 20 FT men, dressed Islamically to visit a woman. Definitely that is not, a kind of society that I want to live in. And that literally means that the woman, apart from us saying that she's receiving that threat, the video alone is an intimidation. And she was told clearly that this is Kwara State. You can take it to Abeokuta in Ogun State where they practice this, but we do not allow such in Kwara State. The question then is, when has Kwara State turned to an Islamic state? Because what we know is, in Nigeria, according to the constitution, you have the right to practice whatever religion that you feel like practicing. But it seems that the Nigerians in Kwara State have now told her that point blank, she will not be allowed to do such. And she has now canceled the planned festival. So we hope the governor will intervene.
Okay, let's see what the governor says. If we all belong, then there should be the response to reflect that as well. But it's all kind of everything started. Let me tell you for the time, the monitor the program. Let's go back to Johnny for the rest of the stories.
Let's go straight to Abuja, where the presidential election petition court have again adjourned the hearing in the petition that was filed by Peter Obi till tomorrow, the 4th day of July 2023, due to INEC inability to open its defense as a result of absence of its 3 witnesses. That takes me again to the next headline. European Union does not have substantial evidence. APC rigged the 2023 presidential election according to the presidency. We urge the EU and other foreign interests to be objective in their assessment of internal affairs of our country and allow Nigeria to breathe. Wow, it seems that Bola Tinubu is taking the heat already when it comes from the European Union. Remember that when he was there in UK, at Chatham House, he told us that he would allow freedom of speech and the foreigners, but it seems already that the heat of just one press release is still going to be here for the next 4 years. So I don't know how he's going to cope, when there's so much release from the international community. But let's look at why, the response from the presidency, and I'll take you straight to the social media. We reject European Union conclusions on the 2023 general election. Sometimes in May, we alerted the nation through a press statement to the plan by a continental multilateral institution to discredit the 2023 general election conducted by Independent National Electoral Commission. The main target was the president election clearly and fairly won by the then candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. While we did not mention the name of the organization in the statement, we made it abundantly clear to Nigerians. So does it not mean literally again that the international community have interfered in an election that has got to do with the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Well, it seems that Bola Ahmed Tinubu have that intelligence ahead of every one of us. But the only one that I am aware of is that the UK government, as at 1959, helped to rig the election, according to Arrow Smith, before he died on a presentation on a BBC Radio 4 while it was, titled document. It seems already now that the organization has submitted what it claimed to be its final report on the election. We can now categorically let Nigerians and the entire world know that we are not unaware of the machines of the European Union. It seems that Bola Tinubu is now having a loghead with the European Union outcome when it comes to the concluded general election. So I'm going to move straight to the social media and see what Nigerians are talking about, as there's a lot Nigerians are discussing. Let's talk about Morakinyo at Morakinyo _Lanre. who go drink gas with a question mark by 3 times. It is now sold for 600 naira per kg with the emoji of laugh, but there is no food to cook with the gas. We cannot talk about the next word because it's not a very good word that we use. Also, let's talk about Simon Ekpa, the government in exile and the prime minister of the Biafra update, responding to the bunch of lunatic second-class Nigerians called Ohanize. Ohanize are shameless people that can't represent themselves. They have no shame. They beg the nomadic Fulanis for peanuts using our traditional institution, and the Biafra law will deal with them in due time if they refuse to repent. Number 2, Ohanize, who could not organize their fellow corrupt politicians for Igbo interest. Rather, they receive over 200 million naira, share it amongst themselves to sabotage the freedom of Biafra people, can't speak to Indigo. Number 3, Ohanize bragged that if Igbo didn't get the presidential ticket from the PDP or APC, that Nigeria will break, that voting Tinubu will bring war. But today, the helpless and shameless Ohanize are calling Indigo to support Tinubu. People that act like that has lost the morality to speak for the interest of the Indigo. I'm going to move straight to number 6. The historical sit-at-home has kicked off today. Nothing can stop it unless Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released today. The Biafra government in exile, the Biafra government both in exile and in the homeland, are now in charge of the Biafra land and not the Ohanize nor Nigeria. Signed, Ambassador Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic, government in exile. So let's talk about what Nigerians are saying when it comes to Nigeria itself. This morning, with so much activities going on in Nigeria in the last 48, 72 hours. And let's start from here. Again, an update. This happened again, yesterday. The 8 kidnapped employees of the MRS Oil Nigerian PLC, who were adopted in Lagos last week, have successfully regained their freedom yesterday. We don't know whether any money was paid. Let's take a look at David Odoye, an investigative journalist, really cannot give less a toss that Nigerian top O-level apparently forged their result. Wow, it seems that Nigerians are already forging results just to get into any kind of university. Emeka Gift official, I believe is somewhere in Europe, with so much pictures of Nnamdi Kanu poster, continue to spread to, okay, it's here in London. It's spreading it across every part in London. This is quite interesting. Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the IPOB, a British citizen, was adopted by the Nigerian government, rendition to Nigeria without a due extradition process called as order for his release. So it seems that a one-man called Emeka Gift is now putting Nnamdi Kanu poster across London. Let's take 2 more, and then I'll come back again to you in the studio. 99% oppressed at Pido, Nigeria. All those fools enjoying good life in diaspora who campaigned or voted for Tinubu. How many of you can relocate to Nigeria under this present economy to seek for better job opportunities unrelated to politics, or relocate your businesses and companies to Nigeria? Waka. Arabirin Shola, the Yoruba are the most endangered in the colonial enterprise Nigeria, with the Fulani on one hand and Indigo on the other hand. Only a separate sovereign Yoruba nation will solve this nonsense for good. That is how far we can go, and I'll come now back again. But Arise News, bias, flawed Nigerian reject EU 2023 election, as we have already talked about yesterday. So it seems already Bola Tinubu is having a loghead with the European Union on the outcome of the general election.
Well, listen, it's interesting that in Nigeria, will the president accept the result over Samsudin, who says, focus Yoruba Nation, we won. Okay. But Yomi, a quick one on the election tribunal. Do you think that the judges or who are sitting on the case are going to take into consideration the statements that the EU observer mission are posted?
Well, I think that's the reason why, the presidency is quickly, putting that out so that they probably not think of using that as part of their evidence. Already, from what that report was saying, that, they are already aware that, they alerted Nigerians, how they got that intelligence, and they are literally now pointing that whatever the European Union, observer that came to Nigeria is saying, should not be believed and should be discredited. If these have been in favor of Bola Tinubu, I'm sure he wouldn't have said so. But now that there's a lot of, messages that is not in their favor, they're coming out. The question you ask is whether the judges will take advantage of these or use it as part of their. It depends on whether Peter Obi and Atiku will also be using that as part of their evidence.
Listen, it's interesting that keep our fingers and everything crossed. Let's pray that Nigeria doesn't happen to us so that we won't be alive to see what is going to happen. Before you go.
Well, stay tuned as we take you through the rest of the program. I'll be back again same time tomorrow at 11:43 a.m. It is the Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Good morning and bye for now.
Okay, this is so language for the updates from Nigeria from my mother studios this morning. And I'm going to create a time on the show the program. I'm going to create.
ọmọ adéyẹmọ o ìwọ náà kọ olódùmarè ọba ní kí ọlárúkẹ
ẹsẹ olúwa o
Sunday o
ǹjẹ́ ẹsẹ olúwa
máa kọ́ ọ ti gbogbo ọmọ adéyẹmọ o dé wọn mọ́lẹ̀ pátápátá wọn ò lè mí mọ́ o ti kún wọn láyà dípò ò lè sókè wọ́n ṣẹ̀rù bà wọ́n ọjà wọn láyà wọn ò lè mí fín mọ́ o ti fi ògbójú ńlá fọ́ ìtọ́ ooru ní èyẹ dànù. ọmọ adéyẹmọ fọwọ́n bá tiẹ̀ ọmọ ọpọlọ ogun ọmọ àlè ìwọ náà bí bàbá dojú dé àṣìwò bí ọba ṣe é sí ẹjẹ àfọ kí ni bẹ nínú ọ̀gán ọmọ adéyẹmọ ti dún mọ̀wúrú bí ọ̀pá ni kò pani bí ọba ní pani kó yé dún mọ̀wúrú Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ o ti di bí àlọ́ yìí yé ẹjẹ ọmọdéwọ̀n wíwé kókò tó bá lè jọ́ máa bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá fẹ́ fọ̀yà kó máa fọ̀yà gbèrègbèrè sàǹgbà ọ̀rọ̀ máa fọ́ọ̀kù ẹni ọba wọ pé ọmọ adéyẹmọ ti di bí àlọ́ yìí ẹni wo ọmọ adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣá yé orí ìyá pé ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà ọmọ ọkùnrin náà ó ṣeun bẹ́ẹ̀ lọmọ ọgbọ́n ṣe ìwọ ọmọ pàgàmbarí nípa ìsìn Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ ọpàgàmbarí nípa ìsìn ọpàgàmbarí nípa ọya oníkọ̀ọ́wá Sunday Ìgbòho ṣá pẹ̀lú àwọn bàbá rẹ lọ òròdú ọmọ kẹlá ọlẹ́nilé oṣù lẹ́ẹ̀kan ọmọ ajá yẹn lè bí àwọn bàbá rẹ mo délù mo dà ní òde wọ́n di méjì báyìí rẹ̀ ká kàlọ́ méjì báyìí kàgàdà yìí ó di méjì báyìí bẹ̀ẹ́dínlógún ó kan ní àárọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní kókó ilé wa kàgàdà nínú bí àwọn rẹ̀ ọmọ bá tó lọ́kọ̀ ní ìṣòwò àkọ́níṣẹ́ ọlọ́kọ̀ ní ìṣẹ́ ìgbàlẹ̀kẹ̀ ọmọ adéyẹmọ Sunday Ìgbòho sàmà ogun ní nánilógún ogun ló ní ilé àárọ̀ ogun ni wọ́n fi jagun tù gbẹ́gbẹ́ jẹ́ bó wù wọ́n jẹ́ ẹjẹ́ nílá wa lóògùn ọ̀nà Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣà ló ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá òmìnira dandan ni wọ́n wá gbọ́ o àṣẹ ìlànà Olódùmarè ni wọ́n máa lò ọmọ adéyẹmọ o dákun mọ́ làwọn oníṣẹ́ ẹbí ẹ̀tọ́ kálukú mọ̀ fi dùn wọ́n orí kálukú ló gbé ẹdẹ́kọ̀ tó dùn wọ́n á máa gbọ́ o gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tàtà ẹni tẹ́wá lóye ẹja fọwọ́pọ̀ ká gbé ẹni tó wá fi ṣẹ́ ká gbé lárugẹ gidi ni ẹ̀mí jù ọ́ wọn ò dùn ún ẹjọ́ òròdù lọ sí ìbá méjì kó o ẹni tó wá fi sẹ́rán ọ̀gàtọ̀ sí ẹni tó fi ra wọn Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ tó fi ra tiwa akọni jagunjagun ọkùnrin tààrà pọ̀dọ̀kẹ́lẹ́ ọmọ adéyẹmọ wọn máa gbọ́ fẹ́ sàgbà kan fún wọn ni ẹni tó bá ní kó ògùn ní kékeré kó máa fọwọ́ ara wọn síra wọn wọn ní kàkọ́ máa ṣe ara ìdíkò dànù ìmọ̀jú ayóyè pẹ̀lú kó lọ́wọ́ ọmọ gbá kékeré tó kékeré ìdáhọ́ ilé ọmọ gbẹ̀yìn àgbẹ̀dẹ oṣù pàtàkì òní kúrú olùkọ́ tẹ̀ máa gbọ́ àwọn alábá rẹ tó ti wà níbùgbé ìdájọ́ wọn àmọ́ fọwọ́ tí ọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ ni àwọn alábá jagun tí wọ́n ní jagun sáájú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wọn àmọ́ fọwọ́ tí ọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ ni kó o dúwà
And we come back on a full broadcast in a few minutes. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye for now.